Urgent, Luka Doncic surprises Lakers after decision that will shake the NBA next season. Stay until the end to find out everything. But before starting the video, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any Lakers news. As the NBA offseason unfolded, an unexpected video began circulating online, capturing the attention of both fans and analysts alike. Luka Doncic, now a key figure for the Los Angeles Lakers, was spotted attending a Real Madrid basketball game. But what truly stole the spotlight wasn't his courtside presence. It was his noticeably transformed physique. The video quickly gained traction, with fans across platforms commenting on how lean and fit Doncic appeared compared to the image he left behind after the Lakers' elimination from the playoffs just months prior. It didn't take long for the buzz to reach mainstream media. The discussion wasn't just about an NBA superstar enjoying an off-season trip to Spain. It was about what this physical transformation could mean for the Lakers' future. Throughout his career, Luka's conditioning has been a point of concern. Critics often pointed out that despite his undeniable talent, his fluctuating weight impacted his stamina, agility, and overall durability during grueling NBA seasons. This wasn't a new storyline. His time with the Dallas Mavericks was plagued by internal frustrations regarding his commitment to fitness, despite his brilliant performances on the court. In fact, whispers around the league suggested that this very issue played a significant role in the Mavericks' decision to move him at the trade deadline. Swapping Doncic for Anthony Davis was seen as a seismic shift, a gamble that carried risks for both franchises. The person most concerned about Doncic's physical condition was none other than Nico Harrison, the general manager of the Mavericks. Despite leading the team to the NBA Finals, Harrison reportedly struggled to view Luka as the ideal cornerstone due to worries about his long-term health and commitment. These concerns even jeopardized any conversations about offering Doncic a supermax contract extension. Harrison wasn't alone in his frustrations. Head coach Jason Kidd reportedly grew increasingly weary of the recurring battles surrounding Luka's fitness. According to insider reports at the time, Kidd tried to distance himself from the situation publicly, but behind closed doors, his disappointment mirrored that of the front office. Nico Harrison was absolutely frustrated with Luka's condition, one insider revealed. And frankly, so was Jason Kidd. The tension was real, and it wasn't something they could easily resolve. Eventually, Harrison made the bold decision to convince Mavericks owner Patrick Dumont that moving forward with Luka might not be sustainable for the franchise. With ownership's blessing, Harrison began exploring trade possibilities. That's when the Lakers entered the picture, seizing the opportunity to bring the Slovenian superstar to Los Angeles while sending Anthony Davis to Dallas in a blockbuster move. For the Lakers, the sight of a slimmer, sharper Luka Doncic comes as a breath of fresh air ahead of the 2025-26 NBA season. There's no questioning Luka's basketball genius. When healthy, his impact on the floor is undeniable. During the 2024-25 campaign, Doncic posted remarkable averages: 28.2 points, 8.2 rebounds, 7.7 assists, and 1.8 steals per game, shooting an efficient 45% from the field. His improved physical shape may be the missing piece that elevates the Lakers back into serious title contention. The front office is taking notice too. Rumors suggest that the Lakers are preparing to offer Luka a massive new deal, a potential $229 million contract spanning 4 years. Negotiations could begin as early as August 2nd, marking a pivotal moment for the future of both Doncic and the franchise. I'd be absolutely stunned if the Lakers and Luka don't work out an extension, one source close to the situation reported. There are a lot of moving parts when it comes to the salary cap and contracts, but from everything I've heard, Luka is all in with Los Angeles. His goal is simple: to win championships with the Lakers. As summer unfolded in Los Angeles, it became increasingly clear that Luka Doncic was on a mission, not just to fit into the Lakers system but to redefine his career narrative. The whispers about his conditioning that once shadowed him in Dallas had turned into applause for his visible transformation. But this wasn't just a physical change, it was a mental and emotional reset. For Luka, the trade to Los Angeles wasn't just another business move, it was personal. Leaving behind the Mavericks, the team where he had risen to global superstardom, wasn't an easy decision. Despite his statistical brilliance, the constant internal frustrations regarding his fitness, discipline, and perceived lack of commitment weighed heavily on his relationship with Dallas management and coaching staff. At the heart of the fallout was a clash of expectations. While Luka was delivering MVP-level numbers, the front office, led by Nico Harrison, grew restless. They believed that his incredible talent was being undermined by inconsistent physical preparation. Jason Kidd, a former superstar point guard himself, struggled to balance admiration for Luka's basketball IQ with frustration over his conditioning. The tension reached a boiling point during the previous season's playoffs. Despite Luka's heroic performances, the Mavs fell short of their ultimate goal. Behind the scenes, conversations turned serious. Could the team count on Luka to lead them to a championship long-term if questions about his durability persisted? It was in this climate of growing unease that the Lakers saw an opening. Their own roster was aging. While LeBron James continued to defy Father Time and Austin Reeves blossomed into a reliable contributor, the front office knew they needed another transcendent talent to secure their future. Luka Doncic wasn't just a superstar. He was a generational player with the potential to be the face of the franchise for the next decade. The deal was monumental. Anthony Davis, one of the pillars of the Lakers' recent success, was sent to Dallas in exchange for Doncic. The move shocked the basketball world but also sparked hope in Los Angeles. It was a calculated risk, one that could either usher in a new era of dominance or collapse under the weight of expectations. But the Luka that arrived in Los Angeles wasn't the same Luka who left Dallas. Something had changed. Sources close to the star reported that Luka took the criticism he faced in Dallas personally. He spent the early off-season reassessing his habits, hiring a new personal trainer and nutritionist, and committing to a rigorous training regimen. Gone were the late nights of poor diet choices and lax workouts. Instead, his days became structured around recovery, conditioning, and refining his game. His motivation wasn't just to silence critics, it was to prove to himself that he could reach another level. Los Angeles represented more than just a change of scenery, it was his chance to rewrite his legacy. Lakers insiders were blown away by his commitment. From the moment he stepped into the training facility, teammates noticed the difference. His energy was higher, his footwork sharper, and his endurance improved significantly during scrimmages. LeBron James, often regarded as one of the greatest players in NBA history due to his own legendary commitment to physical fitness, took Luka under his wing. The mentorship between them wasn't forced, it was organic. LeBron recognized in Luka the raw genius of a player capable of carrying the torch for the Lakers in the post-LeBron era. He came in hungry, you could feel it, one Lakers staff member shared. It wasn't just talk. He was serious about putting in the work. You could see it in every drill, every lift, every film session. The front office wasted no time exploring the future. With Luka showing dedication off the court and brilliance on it, discussions began around offering him a long-term extension, one that could cement his place in Lakers history. August 2nd was circled on every executive's calendar. On that date, the Lakers could formally present Luka with a $229 million contract over 4 years, a commitment that would symbolize their belief in his transformation and potential. But beyond the numbers, something bigger was brewing. Luka Doncic wasn't just looking to be another star on the Lakers. He was aiming to become a legend, a player whose name would one day hang in the rafters of Crypto.com arena alongside Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq, and LeBron. The journey was only beginning. But for the first time in a long while, it felt like Luka Doncic wasn't running from expectations, he was embracing them. In Los Angeles, expectations aren't just high, they're sky high. The Lakers are more than just a basketball team. They are an institution, a global brand, and a symbol of greatness. For Luka Doncic, stepping into this spotlight meant more than adjusting to a new jersey, it meant embracing the enormous weight of a city that demands nothing less than championships. From the moment the trade was finalized, the buzz across the city was electric. Billboards along Sunset Boulevard flashed Luka's face beside LeBron's and Austin Reeves. Murals began appearing overnight, welcoming the Slovenian sensation to his new home. Lakers fans, always passionate and brutally honest, were divided. Some celebrated the arrival of a generational talent. Others questioned whether Luka could handle the pressure cooker that is Los Angeles. The media frenzy was relentless. Every move Luka made, from his first workout in the Lakers facility to his coffee runs in Beverly Hills, was documented, analyzed, and dissected. Was he training hard enough? Did he look fit? How did he mesh with LeBron? The questions were endless and the cameras never stopped rolling. But Luka wasn't fazed. If anything, he seemed fueled by the noise. Privately, Lakers insiders marveled at how quickly Luka adapted to the city's rhythm. His work ethic was on full display. Early mornings were spent with strength and conditioning coaches. Afternoons consisted of intense on-court drills, focusing on footwork, defense, and improving his off-ball movement, areas that critics had often pointed to as weaknesses in his game. One of the biggest surprises came during Luka's first official scrimmage with the team. Players and coaches watched as he controlled the game with ease. His passing was sharper, his defensive rotations were quicker, and his ability to create space looked more refined than ever. Honestly, he looked like a completely different player from the one we saw last season, an assistant coach said. He's lighter, faster, and more locked in. The talent was always there, but now it feels like the commitment is matching it. LeBron, a master at handling both the pressure of the game and the spotlight of Hollywood, pulled Luka aside frequently. Their conversations weren't just about basketball, they were about legacy. About how to survive and thrive under the constant glare of LA media and fan expectations. "You're not just playing for wins here," LeBron told him during one private moment. "You're playing for banners. For statues. For history." Meanwhile, the front office continued working behind the scenes. The proposed $229 million extension wasn't just a financial decision. It was a message to the league and to the fans that the Lakers were all in on Luka Doncic as the future of the franchise. Rob Pelinka, the Lakers general manager, knew the stakes. The combination of Luka's age, talent, and now his clear commitment to conditioning made this a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Pairing Luka with the final years of LeBron's career and the prime of Austin Reeves could potentially create a window of dominance that would rival some of the Lakers' greatest eras. The fans, too, began to shift from skepticism to excitement. Social media, once filled with doubts about Luka's fitness and attitude, started buzzing with highlight videos from practice, behind-the-back passes, deep step-back threes, and no-look assists that left defenders spinning. The Luka magic that Dallas had enjoyed for years was now lighting up Los Angeles. But with every glimpse of brilliance came the reminder, none of this would matter unless it translated to wins. And not just regular season wins. In Los Angeles, the standard is rings. The upcoming season loomed large. Questions hung in the air like the banners in Crypto.com arena. Could Luka and LeBron coexist? Would Luka's body hold up through the grind of the season? Could this new-look Lakers team deliver when it mattered most? Luka knew the answers wouldn't come in interviews or social media clips. They would come on the hardwood night after night, in front of 20,000 roaring fans, and millions more watching around the world. As training camp approached, one thing became clear to everyone in the Lakers organization. This was no longer the Luka Doncic weighed down by doubts. This was a Luka reborn, ready to carry the burden of greatness, ready to prove that his name belonged among the legends of Los Angeles. The stage was set. The lights were on. And the city was watching. As the days ticked down toward the opening of the NBA season, the energy inside the Lakers training facility was unmistakably different. This wasn't just another preseason. The arrival of Luka Doncic had shifted everything. From the front office to the locker room, there was a collective sense that something special was brewing, but only if the pieces could come together. Chemistry. In the NBA, it's often the difference between a good team and a championship team. Talent alone doesn't guarantee success. The Lakers knew this better than anyone. Throughout their storied history, the most dominant Lakers teams weren't just stacked with stars. They were unified, aligned, and locked in as one. Luka Doncic now stood at the center of that challenge. The adjustment wasn't one-sided. While Luka was learning to fit into the Lakers system, the Lakers were also learning how to maximize his unique brilliance. Unlike many stars, Luka's game wasn't based purely on athleticism. His genius came from reading the game like a chess master, seeing angles others missed, slowing down the chaos and dictating the flow. Head coach Darvin Ham faced the exciting yet daunting task of redesigning the offensive structure to accommodate both Luka and LeBron, two of the most ball-dominant players in NBA history. The first week of training camp was all about experimentation. Lineups shifted constantly. Sometimes Luka would run the point with LeBron playing off the ball. Other times, LeBron initiated the offense while Luka hunted mismatches. Austin Reeves thrived as a flexible secondary playmaker, taking advantage of the space created by the two stars. "You could feel it," said Reeves after one particularly intense scrimmage. "When Luka has the ball, you just have to move. He'll find you. If you cut, if you're open, the ball's coming. It's like he's got eyes in the back of his head." Off the court, the bonding was just as intentional. Team dinners became mandatory. LeBron invited Luka to his home for film sessions. Not the usual team meetings but private sit-downs, breaking down footage from the Showtime-era Lakers, the Kobe and Shaq days and LeBron's own Miami Heat super team. "These guys didn't just play together," LeBron explained, pointing at the screen. "They trusted each other. That's the difference." Luka absorbed it all. His competitive nature thrived on these lessons. It wasn't about ego, it was about legacy. He didn't come to Los Angeles just to be another name on the roster. He wanted to be one of those names, the ones that never leave the walls of Crypto.com arena. The physical transformation Luka had started in the offseason was paying dividends. Teammates noticed his improved quickness, his stamina deep into long practices, and even a noticeable bump in defensive effort, an area that had often drawn criticism in his Dallas years. "Luka's locked in," said assistant coach Phil Handy. "He's embracing every part of being here, the work, the culture, the expectations. You can't fake that." Meanwhile, the Lakers' front office continued pushing forward. While the Luka-LeBron Reeves trio looked lethal on paper, depth was still a concern. Talks began swirling around adding another versatile big man who could complement Luka's pick-and-roll mastery, someone to fill the void left by Anthony Davis's departure. Fans were cautiously optimistic. Preseason games showed flashes of brilliance, Luka threading impossible passes, LeBron powering through defenders, Reeves hitting clutch threes, but also growing pains. Turnovers from miscommunication, occasional defensive lapses, and the reality that chemistry doesn't form overnight. The media, relentless as ever, oscillated between praise and doubt. Some analysts hailed the Lakers as immediate title favorites. Others questioned whether two ball-dominant stars could truly share the spotlight without friction. Inside the locker room, however, the narrative was simple: block out the noise, do the work. For Luka, each day was a reminder that his decision to embrace the challenge of Los Angeles was the right one. No longer burdened by the whispers about his conditioning, his leadership, or his commitment, he was fully immersed in the grind. "This isn't about proving people wrong anymore," Luka said after a practice. "It's about proving to myself, and to this city, that I belong here. That I can win here." As the preseason drew to a close, one thing became clear to everyone watching. This Lakers team, with Luka Doncic now at its heart, wasn't just another chapter in franchise history. It had the makings of a dynasty. The start of the regular season arrived faster than anyone expected. The bright lights of Crypto.com arena shone brighter than ever as the Los Angeles Lakers prepared for their season opener. Fans flooded the streets, dressed in gold and purple, holding signs with Luka Doncic's name next to LeBron's, chanting, hoping, demanding greatness. The energy was different now. It wasn't just about hope, it was about expectation. The city of Los Angeles, with its history of championships, wasn't going to wait patiently for things to click. From day one they wanted wins. They wanted dominance. Luka Doncic, stepping onto the court for his first regular season game as a Laker, felt the weight of that moment. But if there was one thing his career had proven, it was that Luka thrived under pressure. The opening game was nothing short of spectacular. The Lakers hosted the defending champions, a deliberate scheduling decision by the league to test the new-look squad immediately. From the tip-off, the arena trembled with anticipation. Luka wasted no time making his presence felt. A step-back three over a towering defender. A no-look pass to Austin Reaves cutting baseline. A perfectly timed alley-oop to LeBron, sending the crowd into a frenzy. The chemistry that had been cautiously developing in training camp now unfolded in real time, sharper and faster than anyone anticipated. But it wasn't without challenges. The opposition quickly adjusted, throwing double teams at Luka, forcing him to give up the ball. Defensive lapses showed up, especially when rotations broke down in the fast-paced chaos of the game. There were stretches where the offense stalled, trying to decide whether it should run through Luka or LeBron. The first half ended with the Lakers trailing by 8. In the locker room, the tension was thick but not panicked. LeBron stood addressing the team. "We knew it wasn't going to be perfect right away," he said, locking eyes with Luka. "But this is what we do. We adjust. We fight. We finish." The second half was a statement. Luka took over. His footwork was sharper, his decision-making quicker. Every possession felt calculated, whether it was drawing defenders to open a shooter like Reaves or using his strength to power through for tough layups. On one play, Luka crossed over his defender, drove into the lane and kicked the ball out to LeBron in the corner, who buried the three as the shot clock expired. The crowd erupted. It was more than a highlight. It was a symbol. A passing of the torch in real time. Two generational talents not competing for control, but collaborating for greatness. The Lakers stormed back to win the game by double digits. Luka finished with 32 points, 11 assists and 8 rebounds. LeBron added 27 points and Reaves chipped in 19. The post-game interview was flooded with questions about how the chemistry came together so quickly. "We're learning," Luka said, sweat dripping down his face. "It's one game. But we're figuring it out. And I love playing here." The media, always hungry for narratives, exploded. Headlines the next morning read, "The new Showtime?" and "Luka lights up LA." But within the Lakers organization, the message was clear. One game doesn't make a season. The following weeks were a gauntlet. Road trips, back-to-backs, and games against elite teams pushed the Lakers to their limits. The offense sometimes clicked like poetry in motion, with Luka and LeBron orchestrating masterpieces. Other times it broke down into isolation plays, with growing pains evident as the team adjusted to Luka's unique style. Defensively, questions lingered. Luka's commitment to fitness had improved his mobility, but elite perimeter defenders were still needed around him. The front office quietly explored the trade market, looking for defensive wings who could fill that gap. Despite the challenges, the Lakers posted one of the best starts in franchise history. Luka was an early MVP candidate, averaging near triple-double numbers. His leadership, once doubted in Dallas, was now on full display. He wasn't just a superstar, he was the engine of the team. LeBron's role evolved too. No longer carrying the nightly burden alone, he focused on key moments, preserving his body while delivering when it mattered most. Off the court, Luka embraced Los Angeles. He became a regular courtside at Dodgers games, attended charity events with Reaves, and even took part in a surprise visit to a local children's hospital alongside LeBron. Moments that further endeared him to the community. But beneath the excitement, everyone knew the truth. Regular season success was only part of the battle. In Los Angeles, the only measure of success is what hangs from the rafters. The pressure wasn't going away. If anything, it was just getting started. As the season pressed on, Luka Doncic wasn't just playing for wins. He was playing for history. By midseason, the Los Angeles Lakers were sitting near the top of the Western Conference standings. The Luka-LeBron duo was exceeding expectations offensively. Their connection had become one of the most feared in the league. Opponents knew what was coming, the precision passes, the relentless pick and rolls, the clutch shot making, but stopping it was another story. However, no NBA season is without turbulence. In late January, the Lakers faced a brutal 5-game road trip against playoff-caliber teams. Fatigue began to show. Minor injuries piled up. LeBron, now managing his body carefully at 40 years old, sat out a few games with knee soreness. Austin Reaves dealt with an ankle sprain, sidelining him for 2 weeks. Suddenly the burden fell heavily on Luka. It was a test of everything he had worked for. His improved fitness, his leadership, his ability to carry a franchise not just with his talent but with resilience. The media, brutal as always, questioned whether Luka could truly lead the Lakers without the safety net of LeBron by his side. The first game of the road trip was a disaster, a 22-point blowout loss. Luka finished with 35 points but also had 8 turnovers, trying to force the offense single-handedly. Social media exploded with criticism. Some Dallas fans mocked his struggles, claiming the same old patterns had followed him to LA. Luka heard it, but he didn't respond. Not publicly. Internally, however, it lit a fire. At the next practice, his intensity was undeniable. He pushed teammates harder. He demanded better focus. "We're not just here to play games," he told the team. "We're here to win something bigger. No excuses." In the second game of the trip, Luka delivered one of the most memorable performances of his career. Facing Denver in the altitude of Ball Arena, always a tough challenge, Luka recorded a 43-point triple-double, including 15 assists and 12 rebounds. His passing was surgical, manipulating defenders like chess pieces. His three-point shooting caught fire, burying dagger after dagger. But it wasn't just offense. Luka dove for loose balls, fought through screens, and even took a key charge late in the fourth quarter, securing the win. His teammates rallied behind him, and the narrative flipped overnight from doubt to admiration. "Luka's not just here for the ride," said Lakers head coach Darvin Ham after the game. "He's driving this thing." The Lakers finished the road trip 3-2, a respectable result considering the adversity. But it came at a cost. Fatigue was real, and the need for reinforcements was becoming urgent. The trade deadline loomed, and inside the front office, discussions became more aggressive. The Lakers had one glaring weakness: defense. While the offense was a thing of beauty with Luka orchestrating, the team struggled to contain athletic wings and versatile scorers. Rob Pelinka, the Lakers' general manager, knew that a roster tweak was needed if the championship window was to stay open. Names floated in trade rumors: defensive specialists, rim protectors, 3-and-D players. The Lakers had assets, draft picks, role players, and the willingness to go deep into the luxury tax. Meanwhile, Luka continued to do what he does best: play beautiful basketball. His averages were staggering: 31.5 points, 9.8 assists, and 8.5 rebounds per game by the All-Star break. His efficiency was career best, thanks in part to his improved conditioning. Gone were the fourth-quarter fade-outs that plagued his earlier seasons. But mentally the grind was heavier than ever. Luka was adjusting not just to the weight of expectations in LA, but also to the endless comparisons, to LeBron's prime, to Magic Johnson, to Kobe. The city expected legends, not just stars. Off the court, Luka maintained his focus. While he engaged with the community and embraced the LA lifestyle, celebrity events, endorsements, and Hollywood appearances, he kept his inner circle tight. Family, a few trusted friends and teammates, nothing else. At a press conference before the All-Star weekend, a reporter asked him if the pressure of being a Laker was heavier than expected. Luka smiled slightly, paused, and replied, "Pressure? Pressure is not winning. Pressure is not having a chance to win. Here we have a chance. That's not pressure, that's a blessing." His words spread like wildfire. Fans printed them on shirts. The quote became a rallying cry for the season. As the All-Star break approached, LeBron returned to full strength, and Reeves was back in the lineup. The core was reunited, battle-tested now in ways they hadn't been before. But the biggest test was still ahead. With the trade deadline looming, the question wasn't whether the Lakers were good, it was whether they were great enough to win it all. The front office had decisions to make. And Luka Doncic? He was ready for whatever came next. As February rolled in, the NBA trade deadline was only days away. The Lakers front office worked tirelessly behind the scenes, evaluating every possible scenario to bolster their roster for a deep playoff run. While the addition of Luka Doncic had elevated their offense to elite status, cracks in their defensive structure were becoming harder to ignore. Rob Pelinka knew that standing still wasn't an option. The Western Conference was a battlefield, with teams like the Nuggets, Suns, and Clippers loading up for title contention. If the Lakers wanted to keep pace, they needed reinforcements, players who could defend, stretch the floor, and relieve pressure from Luka and LeBron. Inside the Lakers' war room, names were scribbled on whiteboards. Scenarios played out in endless simulations. Could they acquire a defensive anchor without sacrificing too much shooting? Could they land a versatile wing capable of locking down the league's elite scorers? One name kept surfacing, a veteran 3-and-D forward stuck on a rebuilding team, hungry for a chance to compete for a title. Negotiations began quietly. Draft picks were discussed. Role players were put on the table. Meanwhile, inside the locker room, the players waited anxiously. The NBA is a business, and the trade deadline reminds everyone of that harsh reality. Even close-knit teams like the Lakers weren't immune. Luka, now familiar with how the league operates after his sudden trade from Dallas, approached it with a new mindset. Control what you can control, he told reporters when asked about trade rumors. The front office will do what they need to do. Our job is to play basketball. Despite the uncertainty, the Lakers maintained focus on the court. Luka continued his MVP-caliber campaign, dropping 40-point triple-doubles seemingly at will. LeBron managed his minutes carefully, still putting up impressive numbers even as Father Time loomed over him. Austin Reeves found his rhythm again, becoming a key secondary scorer. Then the bombshell dropped. The Lakers finalized a blockbuster trade. In exchange for a package of future draft picks and a pair of rotation players, Los Angeles acquired an elite perimeter defender and a veteran stretch big. Exactly the reinforcements they needed. The announcement sent shockwaves through the league. Analysts immediately declared the Lakers the favorites in the West, while rival GMs privately admitted that the move raised the championship bar significantly. Luka's reaction? A simple post on social media, a crown emoji, a basketball emoji, and the words, "Let's finish this." The new players integrated quickly, thanks to the unselfish leadership of both Luka and LeBron. Practices intensified. The energy shifted. There was now an unmistakable sense of urgency in every drill, every film session, every timeout. The chemistry was electric. On the court, the difference was immediate. The Lakers' defensive rating, previously middling, jumped to top 5 in the league. Opposing stars who once feasted against LA's defense suddenly found themselves suffocated by length, quick rotations, and relentless pressure. Offensively, Luka thrived even more. With reliable shooters spacing the floor and defenders taking on the toughest assignments, he had more room to operate than ever before. His pick and rolls with the new stretch big became unstoppable. Defenders had to choose: leave the shooter open, allow Luka a driving lane, or let him hit LeBron cutting to the rim. It was a nightmare for opponents. As March began, the Lakers went on a tear, an 11-game winning streak that included statement victories over the defending champion Nuggets and the powerhouse Celtics. Each one wasn't just about climbing the standings, it was a message to the league. The Lakers were coming and they were serious. Luka's numbers were jaw-dropping. Over that stretch, he averaged 33.4 points, 10.1 assists, and 9.2 rebounds per game, while shooting over 50% from the field and 42% from beyond the arc. The MVP chants grew louder in every arena, home or away. But beyond the stats, something deeper was happening. Luka had embraced the mantle of a Lakers superstar. Gone were the doubts about his fitness, leadership, or commitment. The media narratives flipped completely. Now headlines read, "Luka Doncic has transformed the Lakers. From Maverick to King, Luka's reign begins in LA." MVP? More like Finals MVP in the making. The locker room was united. LeBron continued to mentor, guiding the younger players while deferring to Luka in key moments. Reeves flourished in his role. The bench brought energy and depth. Still, the players knew better than anyone that regular season success means nothing without playoff glory. The ghosts of Lakers legends, Magic, Kareem, Kobe, hovered over the franchise, whispering the same truth. Banners are nothing. As April approached and the playoffs loomed, the Lakers sat comfortably in the top 3 of the West. But comfort wasn't part of the plan. This team was built for one thing, a title run. And Luka Doncic, now fully transformed both physically and mentally, stood ready. The postseason was coming. And so was destiny. The regular season had ended. The standings were locked. The Los Angeles Lakers, with Luka Doncic now fully entrenched as their offensive maestro, finished as the second seed in the Western Conference. It was their highest placement since the championship run in 2020. But none of that mattered now. The real season, the playoffs, had arrived. For Luka, this was more than just another postseason. It was his chance to silence every critic who doubted his conditioning, his leadership, and whether he could deliver on the NBA's biggest stage. For LeBron James, it was perhaps his last true opportunity to chase one more ring before Father Time claimed its inevitable victory. The Lakers' first-round opponent was the scrappy and relentless New Orleans Pelicans, a young team full of energy, athleticism, and nothing to lose. Led by Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram, the Pelicans presented a unique challenge: speed, size, and unpredictable offense. Game 1 tipped off at a raucous Crypto.com arena, the crowd roaring with playoff energy. Luka came out aggressive. His first possession was a deep step-back three that barely touched the rim, pure net. On the next trip down, he split a double team and delivered a no-look pass to LeBron for a thunderous dunk. The message was clear. We're not here to play around. The Lakers dominated the opener, with Luka posting 38 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds. LeBron added 24, and the role players, including Austin Reeves, chipped in with crucial threes and gritty defense. The final score wasn't close. But the Pelicans adjusted. In Game 2, Zion attacked the paint relentlessly, forcing the Lakers' defense into foul trouble. Despite a near triple-double from Luka, the Lakers fell short in a tight battle, tying the series 1-1. Panic? Not even close. Back in New Orleans for Games 3 and 4, Luka put on a masterclass in control. He slowed the game down, manipulated mismatches, and surgically dissected the Pelicans' defense. His pick-and-roll with the veteran stretch big became virtually unguardable. When defenders collapsed, he punished them with lasers to open shooters. When they stayed home, Luka bullied his way to the rim or buried them with floaters and fadeaways. Game 3, Lakers win by 14. Game 4, Luka drops 45 points, including 18 in the fourth quarter alone, as the Lakers silenced the New Orleans crowd. The series returned to LA for Game 5. The Lakers, fueled by their home fans, finished the job. Luka had 31 points and 13 assists, while LeBron added a near triple-double. The final buzzer sounded, and the Lakers advanced to the Western Conference semifinals. Their next opponent? The reigning NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets. The media dubbed it the real Western Conference Finals, with many believing the winner of this series would ultimately take the title. It was a clash of styles. The methodical, nearly unstoppable Nikola Jokic against the dynamic brilliance of Luka Doncic and the experience of LeBron. Game 1 was an instant classic. Jokic orchestrated Denver's offense with wizardry, racking up triple-doubles as if they were routine. But Luka responded with his own masterpiece: 42 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, and 3 steals. With the game tied in the final seconds, Luka drove, drew 2 defenders, and kicked it to a wide-open Reeves in the corner. Splash. Lakers steal Game 1 on the road. Denver fought back in Game 2. The Nuggets exploited mismatches, and Jokic's footwork in the post proved too much. The series tied 1-1 heading back to Los Angeles. The next 2 games were battles of wills. In Game 3, the Lakers' defense swarmed Jokic, forcing turnovers and contesting every shot. Luka controlled the tempo like a grandmaster, delivering a 35-point, 15-assist clinic. Game 4 was the opposite, a bruising, defensive slugfest where every point was earned. LeBron's veteran savvy came through late, forcing key turnovers and getting to the line when it mattered most. The Lakers took a commanding 3-1 lead. But Denver, ever resilient, won Game 5 at home, behind a monster performance from Jamal Murray and Jokic's 32-18-12 stat line. Game 6 returned to Los Angeles, a do-or-die for Denver, a closeout opportunity for the Lakers. The arena was electric. Celebrities filled the courtside seats. Former Lakers legends sat watching, whispering the weight of history into the atmosphere. Luka was locked in from the tip. He scored or assisted on the Lakers' first 14 points, setting the tone. His step-back threes fell. His drives to the rim were relentless. Every time Denver made a run, Luka responded, whether it was a dagger three, a no-look dime to a cutting LeBron, or a floater over the outstretched arms of Jokic. In the final minutes, with the Lakers up by 7, Luka hit the shot of the night, a deep step-back three from near the logo. The crowd erupted. The Nuggets called timeout. LeBron hugged Luka at half-court. When the final buzzer sounded, the Lakers had won. The Nuggets were eliminated. Luka had his signature moment, his true arrival as a postseason legend. Final stat line. Luka Doncic, 47 points, 12 assists, 9 rebounds. As the confetti fell, Luka stood at center court, soaking in the moment. Reporters surrounded him, asking how he felt. His answer was simple. We're not done yet. For more. The Western Conference Finals awaited. Destiny was calling. The Western Conference Finals stage was set. The Lakers, led by the duo of Luka Doncic and LeBron James, were now just one step away from the NBA Finals. Their opponent, the rising powerhouse, the Oklahoma City Thunder, a young, fearless squad with superstar Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, defensive anchor Chet Holmgren, and a deep, athletic roster hungry for their own slice of history. The media hyped it as a clash of eras. The wily veterans versus the new wave. Brilliance versus speed. Experience against ambition. Game 1 opened in Los Angeles and the energy was surreal. The Lakers leaned on their playoff-tested composure. Luka orchestrated the offense to perfection, manipulating defenders, drawing doubles, and making impossible passes look routine. But OKC's youth showed no fear. They ran the floor relentlessly, swarmed on defense, and hit timely threes. The game came down to the wire. With 14 seconds left, tied at 109, Luka waved off a screen, isolated on the perimeter, and hit his signature step-back three over Chet Holmgren. The crowd exploded. The Lakers stole Game 1. But the Thunder answered in Game 2. Their suffocating defense caused the Lakers to commit an uncharacteristic 18 turnovers. Shai poured in 34 points, leading OKC to tie the series 1-1. Games 3 and 4 in Oklahoma were a war. Luka's brilliance was on full display in Game 3, dropping 40 points and adding 12 assists. Every time OKC surged, Luka responded, dagger threes, crafty drives, and impossible assists. The Lakers won a thriller by 5. Game 4 was OKC's turn to shine. Shai and Josh Giddey picked apart the Lakers' defense, while Holmgren controlled the paint. The Lakers struggled from deep, and the series tied again at 2-2. Back in Los Angeles for Game 5, the Lakers' experience showed. LeBron, sensing the moment, unleashed one of his vintage performances, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, and crucial defensive plays down the stretch. Luka complemented it with a 37-point masterclass, including 7 threes. The Lakers took the 3-2 lead. Game 6 in Oklahoma was the Thunder's last stand. The young squad played fearless basketball, running the Lakers ragged for 3 quarters. Down by 12 heading into the 4th, it looked like the series was destined for Game 7. Then Luka took over. In the 4th quarter, Luka scored 21 of the Lakers' 33 points. He hit floaters, step-backs, and powered through defenders for and-ones. His passing turned deadly when OKC started blitzing, finding Reeves and Rui Hachimura for corner threes. With 12 seconds left and the Lakers up by 2, OKC had one last shot. Shai drove, spun, and put up a floater, blocked by Anthony Davis, who recovered just in time. Luka grabbed the rebound and was fouled. He hit both free throws to seal it. The buzzer sounded. The Lakers were Western Conference champions. Confetti rained down. The celebration was loud, but everyone knew the job wasn't finished. One more mountain remained. The NBA Finals. The opponent? The Boston Celtics. The Lakers' most hated rival. A story written in basketball's oldest and most iconic rivalry. This wasn't just about a title. This was about legacy. Game 1 in Boston was hostile. The Celtics, led by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, combined for 61 points, overwhelming the Lakers with their shooting and physicality. Luka struggled, facing constant traps and double teams. Boston took Game 1 convincingly. Game 2 was a different story. Luka adjusted. Instead of forcing shots, he controlled the tempo, slowed the game, and surgically picked Boston's defense apart. He posted a triple-double, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 13 assists. LeBron added 25, and the Lakers stole Game 2, shifting the series to Los Angeles tied 1-1. Game 3 was an all-time classic. Both teams exchanged runs. Tatum hit a clutch three to tie it with under a minute left. On the next possession, Luka drove, spun past Jrue Holiday, and floated the ball high off the glass. Bucket plus the foul. The Lakers took the lead and never relinquished it. The Lakers dominated Game 4 behind Anthony Davis's monstrous 25 rebounds and Luka's 39 points. They moved ahead in the series 3-1. But Boston refused to go quietly. Game 5 in TD Garden saw Tatum explode for 44 points, sending the series back to LA. Game 6, win and become immortal. Crypto.com arena buzzed like never before. Celebrities, legends, and generations of Lakers faithful packed the stands. LeBron knew this could be his final title chase. Luka knew this was his moment to ascend into basketball royalty. From the tip, the Lakers attacked. Luka orchestrated every play, finding shooters, hitting floaters, and pulling up for deep threes. Boston fought hard. Brown and Tatum combined for 58 points. But every time the Celtics made a run, Luka responded. The play that defined the night came with 1:22 left in the fourth. Up by 4, Luka crossed over Derek White, stepped back beyond the arc, and hit a three that felt like destiny itself. The crowd erupted as Boston called timeout. LeBron embraced Luka. The game, the series, the title, was theirs. Final score: Lakers 119, Celtics 112. Luka Doncic was named Finals MVP. His stat line for the series: 33.5 points, 9.8 assists, 8.2 rebounds per game. He became a champion, not just an individual star, but the centerpiece of a title-winning team. As the confetti fell, LeBron stood at center court, holding his 5th ring, smiling at the passing of the torch. Luka raised the Larry O'Brien trophy, tears in his eyes. "This is what I came here for," Luka said into the microphone. "This is home. And this is only the beginning."